I built this bookcase behind me for about $800. Yeah, it was from IKEA, and the contractors quoted me four to $5,000. So that was a hard no, especially considering how easy this was. And I'm going to show you how to do it too. I'm Caitlin Thomas, and I have been trying to fix my house for about a couple years now. And every project I'm going to show you and walk you through, and you can see how I've done it from the beginning to the end. And I've learned a lot along the way, and I think you can do it too. So I want to tell you about the bookshelf today. I've got another video that will tell you step by step on the nitty gritty of it. It tells you exactly all the tools I used, the products, the links to the products. This video, I want to just narrate more about it. But yes, I originally had the couch against this wall, but let me show you before I actually go into it. Here is the bookshelf. These are the bookshelves, and then we have three cabinets here with mostly toys, really. And then another bookshelf here. The other side of the room is the couch. So I have two chairs here, and then oh, can't go over. When we moved in, this wall was it was like this light gray, and half of the wall was this unfinished wainscoting. It was tongue and groove about half up the wall, but it was completely unfinished wood, and it went around the whole room. I think the previous owners were, I think they were fixing it up. They were in the process of fixing it up when we were buying it. So I think we caught them before they were done. And we had the TV in the corner. So what I've learned from interior design is that's never the right option, because I've never optimized a space having anything in the corner unless you absolutely have to. So I was like, let's do something. So like, let's rearrange this whole living room. The room was not, it didn't have usable, it wasn't optimized for space. There was no storage. There's all the toys are in this cabinet. It's all it is toys. There was no toy storage. The room was ugly, and it's not a very big room. It's 12 by 14. So it's fairly good size, but I've got a sectional and two chairs, so I seat about 5 to 6 people, and I also wanted storage. So, um, we the paneling, I didn't know what to do with it. I tried to salvage it. Our ceilings are only 7.5 feet, so the halfway up the wall paneling, it cut the room in half. It made it feel shorter. It's a north-facing room, so it needed warmer colors, the cooler grays, and it just wasn't working. So, and it actually, this gray couch in this picture, we bought this right when we moved in, and it's about 11 feet long. I bought it because I wanted to fit it in the space. I had a 3-month-old baby that I was not on the right mind, so I just bought a couch that fit the space. I wasn't thinking about space planning, but fast forward 4 years, and now I'm trying to optimize the space. And so there's been quite a transformation. Completely flipped the room, and now we have storage, and it's beautiful. And the point of this video is to tell you how to do it cheap, because if you want real built-ins, you're gonna spend $5 grand minimum for my setup. If it's bigger, it's going to just jump 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 15, $20,000 for custom built-in bookcases, and it's just not that hard. There are so many pre-made choices out there. If you Google, I mean, you go to Home Depot, you can go to Lowe's, you can get the unfinished cabinets. I love these IKEAs. Each one of these cabinets. Let me show you. These cabinets are $99 each. One, two, three, $99. Okay. these two bookshelves, this one and the one right behind me. That one, both of those were $129. Okay. So that is 300, 420, 560 before tax for the actual supplies. Okay. I added this countertop. I added this brown countertop here. This is like 100 inches long. It was from IKEA. It was, I think, $100. And I've got these two sconces. They were $60 from Amazon. And then my husband actually 3D printed these handles. Aren't they so cute? So I replaced the handles. I didn't love the handles for the that came with them. So first things first, you're going to measure your space. How big is your wall? And then you have to play online and find the cabinets of best fit, right? So what I did was these are, what is the dimensions? I think these are 30 inches wide. These are 24 inches wide. So I was actually left with a 3-inch gap on each side. And so the 3-inch gap between here and here, and then a 3-inch gap between here and here. And what I did is I filled them in with trim pieces, the same trim pieces that I used down here. Okay, oops, can I get down there? Yes, these trim pieces. All I did was put these cabinets against the wall, and I've got pictures to show you how I did it. These are just trim pieces, okay? It's a 3x8 from Home Depot. It was like $10, and it fit perfectly here. And then let's see right here, I you just cut it with the saw, and then you do some wood filler, and you caulk where the planes change, and then you actually need to redo this, right? My wood filler is cracking. Put some wood filler where the planes are the same, and then paint it. And this is what I did with this is I went to Home Depot and took one of the shelves from the cabinet and had them color match, because there's no perfect color match for IKEA white. So I've got the actual code, and I got that in my other video. So you could just take that code to Home Depot, and if you wanted to get the actual the IKEA white to match. But you can just it's really cool. You just take a cabinet shelf, and they'll color match it. They just take it and like put it in their machine, and then it's there. It's really cool. But and actually, if you'll notice, I painted the walls the same color. So I have my cabinets that are IKEA. I didn't paint the cabinets. They came like this. But what I did was I got the IKEA white match, and I painted the walls so that they all match. And so it makes it look bigger in here. It's all cohesive, and I had this, that was the old, actually I took the old trim and I made what I say lemonade out of lemons. It's not what it looked like originally. I did that, and I'm going to talk about that in my next video of actually how I did the trim, what I had to work with moving, because when I ripped the trim off this wall, in order to make it flush, that is the first step. You have to rip off your baseboard, rip off anything. You need the wall to be super flush. You need to be flat and plain and ready to go. So I ripped it off, and then it was the people before me who had installed it. They used liquid nails. You don't need to do that. If you're putting in wall trim, if you're just like, you're putting in this wall trim, you don't need liquid nails. It's not that strong. It's not that heavy. Just use a nail gun with some trim nails, and then the caulk holds everything in. You put liquid nails on this, and then the person that pulls it off completely destroys their drywall because they pull it off, and then it pulls off not only the paint, but then the drywall, and then it gets the brown stuff behind it, and it's completely unfixable. And then you have to put cabinets on top of it because you can't fix the wall. So you don't need, and you trust me, just don't use liquid nails on wainscoting. You don't have to do it. We bought these bookcases. We bought these bookshelves. You got $100, $100, $100, $130, $130. Countertop was $100. We had them delivered from from IKEA. I think it was like a $20 delivery fee. Put them together, put them in spot. My husband did secure them thoroughly to the wall. They are level, they are thorough, they are level, they are tight. I have a 4-year-old daughter who likes to crawl in them. So yeah, they are solid. And I love them. It's really, really messy in there, so sorry. But these are good quality cabinets. I mean, they're nice. Like I said, it's all toy storage. There's no need to pay for more than $100 a cabinet for toy storage. Like, I am not gonna have someone custom make me some cabinets for toy storage. And then here we've got puzzles and paper. But I tried to make it look nice too, like a grown-up bookshelf decoration. But yeah, your wall's gonna be different than mine, obviously. So I had 6 inches on each side. And so I actually split it up into 3 and 3 because I thought the one big gap was just too much. So yeah, you gotta find what cabinet works for you. Okay. So that's the thing, is you got it. Once you prep your wall, that was step 1. Step 2, you find your cabinets. Find what works for you. This was a combination that worked for me. This was not a pre-set up combination. This was, I had to find, because originally I was going to do, my original plan was 5 of these. Oops. 5 of these cabinets. But, you know what? It was going to be like 2 inches too long. So I couldn't do it. I could not figure out how to, it would have had to go in the wall. It would have had to go, I've had to cut into, I don't even think that was possible to get into the wall. So, you gotta do what you gotta do, because houses are old and you have to retrofit, and it is what it is. And I wasn't paying $5,000 for a custom fit when I could just do this. But yeah, so I highly recommend IKEA's lines. These are the Brimneys cabinets. I think the Havstra are a little bit more high end. They're about $300 each, and they already come with the baseboard finish. You don't have to do that part. These didn't come like that. So if you don't want to worry about the baseboard, just buy the Havstra, and they already have, so literally you could just put them in place and they look like a built-in shelf. It's amazing. So you prep your wall, you find the cabinets that work, you get them delivered, put them together, put them in place, and then we actually had them in place for a while before I actually filled in the gaps, because we were managing a toddler, and then projects just take a while. We had to get the TV cord behind the wall and then make sure they're perfectly level, and then the countertop came later. So I wasn't sure about that. And luckily my neighbor was super nice and he cut it for me. I posted in the Facebook group and he just came and got it, and it was so nice. But yeah, so then the final step was just to fill in the gaps with the trim and the caulk and paint, and it was done. And I did actually, this wall is even better beige, and I think I'm going to paint it darker. It's not much of a contrast, but I painted the back of the bookshelf the same color as the wall to make it look more built in. And also I filled in the holes. There's holes right here for where you can adjust the bookshelves. I filled that in with drywall filler so that it just looks more legit and we don't see the holes. But yeah, you can do this. You can do this and it can make your house look really nice for really, really affordable. It can be really cheap. And so now, I know $800 is not cheap, but relatively speaking to any other built-in bookshelf, it is. Trust me. So I've got a bunch of other projects I'm going to show you. Between the wall trim, obviously, I talked about, but I also used Billy bookcases to do my pantry. I ripped out my kitchen pantry and then I replaced it with Billy bookcases, which were, I think, $300 for all the materials. And then so I think that would be useful. I'm also working on I've got a lot of trim work to show you. I'm working on my hallway upstairs with some picture frame molding and upgrading my doors. So, because they're old hollow core doors, but we're going to make them nice. So that'll be my next video. So go ahead and follow along. And I'm here to show you that you can do it on a budget and it can still look beautiful and it can make your life better. Okay? Thanks. Follow and subscribe, please, and we will go on this journey together.